The real chai. So recently I found out that tea or chai has been gaining a lot of popularity and is ranked as second most popular drink after water. But what is tea really and where did it come from? How did it get here in Canada? I know you can get tea in pouches or in leaves and you just boil it in water, but is that all the magic to it? So by definition, tea is a hot drink made by infusing dried or crushed leaves of a tea plant in boiling water, and chai is a type of Indian tea made by boiling tea leaves with milk, sugar, and cardamom. Well, that answers one question, but where does tea actually come from? Now, I was able to find two routes in which I think it made its way to Canada. So this might take a while. Cue driving sequence. Now let's jump back a couple thousand years to 2737 BC, where Chinese Emperor Shen Nung is boiling some drinking water under a Camellia sinensis tree. Now, a wind just so happens to blow some of these leaves into his water, and being the herbologist that he is, Shen decides to drink it, and thus tea is born. Now, I can't guarantee you the factual evidence of the story, but I can tell you the origins of tea were traced back to the Orient and China and India mainly. So, let's jump forward a couple thousand years again to the mid 1600s, where one of the world's most powerful companies was born, the East India Company. Under rule of Queen Elizabeth I, was given monopoly over trade with China and India, a trade that was mainly looked at by Portugal before the 1600s, but now had been taken into the hands of Britain. Now, you might be wondering, how does tea factor into trade with China and India? Well, in 1662, when Portuguese Princess Catherine de Braganza marries Charles II, she has an acquired taste for tea, and was the first to bring tea into the aristocracy of Great Britain, made possible by the East India Company ordering 100 pounds. From the aristocracy, it made its way to the common folk, and eventually would follow its colonies here to North America. Now, tea's second route was following families that immigrated to Canada that held making tea as a tradition already. And on that note, I'll be passing it over to our resident tea expert.
Traditionally, tea is had all over India, and depending on which state you live in, the way it's made in your household might differ. In Punjab, tea is usually made with water, milk, and sugar. And depending on the season, other herbs and spices are added for their medicinal benefits. Anise and fennel are added to help aid in digestion. Cardamom seeds help with sore throats, especially in the winter, but also for flavor. Cloves are used to help strengthen the gums. You may also add licorice roots or cinnamon for taste, but licorice root, especially in the winter, to help with throat infections.
And there you have it. That's the real chai.